Hey guys, welcome to Bastion Time. I am your host, Bastion. This is not Nintendo news. This is my quick little, it's been 1 week since Breath of the Wild came out, here's what I'm thinking kind of video. You know, I didn't want to do a review like immediately after it came out because how could I possibly know after just a day or whatever what I was thinking about such a monumentous game. I think now, a week in, I finally got a good grasp on, you know, a more realistic concept of what I'm thinking. So this is going to be kind of all over the place. I didn't write any of this out or anything, so I probably should have, but whatever. But in any case, Breath of the Wild has been out for a little over a week as I'm recording this video, and I love it. I have yet to find anything that I dislike about it, except a few minor quibbles I have. And in case you're wondering, no, this video is not going to be spoilery. I'm not going to get into plot or anything, or even really the features too much, because I like to find that stuff out myself. I'm sure you like to find that stuff out yourself. I don't want to ruin it for you. So I'm going to try to keep this as generic and what's the word I'm looking for? Non-specific, non-spoilery, I guess, is all I can really say. In any case, here's basically what I'm thinking about the game. It's basically perfect. I mean, as far as what it's going for, it's perfect. You know, there's a lot to be said about the development of the Zelda series as it's come to exist by Skyward Sword time, which is, it started out as an open world game in the very first Legend of Zelda, and I would say even Zelda to the Adventure of Link even more so, then A Link to the Past a little less so, but still pretty open world. And even Link's Awakening was pretty open world, but then after that point, basically from Ocarina of Time onward, it's been extremely linear, and that's not really a terrible thing. There's something comforting about that, you know, and it just progressively got more and more linear, and I never quite realized that that's what was happening to the series, but now that we have Breath of the Wild, it's like, oh wow, this is what 3D style Zelda games could have always been. I mean, that was the original point of the very first Legend of Zelda game. Well, and when I say the very first Legend of Zelda game, really I'm talking about the first two, because Adventure of Link is even more so. Actually, I see a whole lot of people comparing Breath of the Wild to the original Legend of Zelda game, and I would actually say it has more in common with Zelda to the Adventure of Link than it does with the original. But in any case, my point is, so much of it feels like after Zelda to the Adventure of Link, what if they never made another Zelda game? And then this, Breath of the Wild, all this time later, was the next Zelda game. That's exactly what it feels like. It's as if they've completely ignored, for better or worse, everything that happened since Zelda to the Adventure of Link. Except for some things like the name of provinces and such. Little trivial things like that, Gorons and things like the Karoks and Rito and whatnot, of course, did not exist back in Zelda to the Adventure of Link. But my point is, the gameplay style. Even simple things, like, beyond the fact that it's an open world style game, things like having to find the dungeons. Now, we know, I don't want to spoil anything, but there are things in Breath of the Wild that are considered dungeons that are different from the shrines, but I really view shrines as being like little mini dungeons, and finding them in a lot of instances is exactly like what you felt when you were searching for the dungeons in the original Legend of Zelda and Zelda to the Adventure of Link. You had no idea where these things were. Nobody was telling you, you go here, and you will find it. They would give you cryptic clues in the first one, or even more specific clues, like it's in such and such swamp in Zelda to the Adventure of Link, but where the heck is such and such swamp? There's no map that tells you where these things are, so you've got to find them on your own. And that's what Breath of the Wild is like, finding all the shrines. You know, in the beginning of Breath of the Wild, finding the shrines is a heck of a lot easier because You can climb to like the tallest mountain or whatever, or top of a very tall tower, and survey the land and place your little pins where you can see where the shrines are. As the game progresses, not to get too spoilery, but they start hiding them. Quite literally, in some instances, you'll have to solve puzzles or whatever to make the shrines appear, and that is super true of Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. If you've never played that game, in at least one instance, the the temple is not visible at all, and you've got to use some cryptic clues that you've gathered from elsewhere to realize you gotta play your flute in between these three rocks in order to make one of the temples appear. And there are things like that in Breath of the Wild where you've got to solve these puzzles just to make the shrine appear, otherwise you have no idea that it's there. But back to it being an open world game, sure, there are points in Breath of the Wild where they're like, you should probably go over here and do this thing, and in any other recent Zelda game, if you did not go there and do that thing, you're S out of luck. You cannot progress the game forward. You absolutely have to go to that next point and do that next thing because of how linear it has gotten. Whereas in Breath of the Wild, even though they say, you should probably go talk to so-and-so in such village, you don't have to. You can go exploring and find all the shrines you want, and you don't have to go do that thing right then and there. In more recent Zelda games, if you didn't, you'd have people telling you, hey, you should go do that, you're not going to go anywhere else until you go do that. And so in that sense, it's identical to the first two Zelda games, where you had nobody telling you how to go about doing things. Now sure, in the beginning of Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, you kind of have to go to the first dungeon in order to progress, to let yourself get... And actually, that's not true now I'm thinking about it. You can go through that one cave, and it's really difficult, but you can skip the first one for as long as you want, really. So in any case, my opinion is that, and this is not a revolutionary opinion, this has been said time and time again, this game really harkens back to the original Zelda games, where it was not linear, you could do anything you wanted in any order you wanted. Sure, you might reach a particular area, such as I did in Breath of the Wild recently, where there were some enemies that are basically impossible to kill unless you've got some next level equipment, but that's up to you to realize that. You can probably run right past them, which is what I did on a horse, and not even deal with them. You know, if you're good at evading, you could do that in the original Legend of Zelda games. The same type of creatures, I might add. There's one particular, I don't want to ruin this for anybody, but there's one particular creature that I would say is the hardest monster in the original Legend of Zelda, and they make a reappearance in Breath of the Wild, and I really had my butt handed to me, both in the original Legend of Zelda and again in Breath of the Wild, by charging right through those guys, thinking I could probably take them on, and realizing, no, really, that's not possible without better equipment and better weapons. In any case, I am loving Breath of the Wild. I would say I'm not even yet halfway through. I've been playing a heck of a lot of it. I know I said I was going to take my time and wasn't going to rush through it, but that's easier said than done. So I have purposefully avoided doing some of the major game stuff that I know. Well, you don't even have to do these 4 things, let's say, because I don't want to spoil anything. I hear you don't even have to do those, so we'll see whether I do them or not, but I've purposely been avoiding them and just exploring the heck out of the landscape, and it is enormous and vast, and I still haven't... I spent an entire week just dedicating myself to exploring the landscape, and that was it. That was my only goal, and I still haven't even uncovered several, at least 3 areas of it. In any case, talking about all of this is really making me want to unzip my Sheikah Slate carrying case thing and start playing it, so I think that's about it, all I have to say now. I'm loving it. I have tiny minor quibbles about it. I guess I'll get into those tiny minor quibbles. Tiny minor quibble 1 is this thing itself, the Sheikah Slate. I get that we're supposed to understand that technology had advanced to such a point that they had basically iPhones or iPads. I it just doesn't quite jive with me though. In Hyrule, I'm not so keen on modern day technology stuff being in Hyrule, and yeah, I know it's been progressing that way more and more, starting with, well, really starting even as far back as A Link to the Past. There were some things that didn't seem to match, but things like trains, and the list can go on. In recent Zelda games, there have been some modern day or sci-fi aspects that I just overlook, but I'm not a super huge fan of. And there's one particular aspect of the Sheikah Slate that I'm not a huge fan of, and that's the fact that you can take pics with it, and they even call them pics. And selfies, and I don't know. Yes, we've had the pictograph in previous Zelda games, but this is a whole different thing. This is literally taking pictures with your iPhone, pics with your iPhone, and I don't know. There's one aspect of the game, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's one aspect of the game that heavily involves you needing to look in this photo album stored on your Sheikah Slate of pics that have been taken by another character, and you have to go visit these places, and it's like, that really doesn't work for me, but whatever. The game is so perfect in every other way, I don't care. But anyways, that's it for this review episode. I bet you I will have a whole lot more to say once I complete the game, and so I probably will make another video that's like a part 2 of this one, and that one will probably be spoiler heavy, so if you haven't completed the game by the time I do, and I don't know, I suspect you probably will have, then I know some of you actually already have. You've reached out to me and told me that you have, so if you haven't for whatever reason, maybe you won't want to watch that video, but I don't think that video is coming out for like at least a month or so, because I really want to take my time and explore every teeny tiny little area of the world that I possibly can before I even allow myself to get to the end. But anyways, that's it for this episode. See you guys tomorrow, probably for some news or something. See you then. Bye, guys.